guys, I placed a $500 Shein order. My Shein order is here.
Huge Shine haul.
Oh, there is so much stuff. Everything from dresses to shoes to bathing suits to all sorts of stuff.
I can't stand seeing this all over my feed. These poor children in China that are slaving over this Shein shit.
Stop buying from Shein. Shein just announced a $100 billion valuation. This is so fucking scary. When you see a handbag being sold for $5, someone was not paid in the production process.
Are we being gaslit by Shein? Cause
hey yo, what the fuck?
As the world, especially the younger generation, becomes more and more educated, the number of exposés on the internet has risen. Every day there seems to be a new story about a company practicing all sorts of misconduct, from sexual assault to racism to cultural appropriation to messing up the environment, to practicing modern slavery and what not else. Like, so much is going on, but there's one industry in particular that can't seem to catch a break, which is also probably quite well deserved, and that industry is fast fashion, including their newborn child, their toddler, which is real-time fashion. And this video today is a deep dive to take a look at the biggest fish in the sea, or shall I rather say shark in the sea, which is Shein. Shein is a $10 billion company, $10 billion fast fashion / real-time fashion company that has been accused of poisoning its customers through their clothing, practicing modern slavery, which is forcing their staff working over 75 plus hours a week for a salary in which you couldn't even cover your weekly groceries if you're, living by yourself. And not just that, they're also messing up the environment, and there's so much more that we're gonna get into. I mean, there's a lot to digest, but before we're diving into this video, if this is the type of stuff you enjoy, then make sure you subscribe to my channel. My name is Nika, and I do all sorts of mini documentaries, a little bit of true crime, and anything that I find somewhat interesting. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you subscribe, like this video, leave a comment. Any sort of engagement helps my channel to grow and leave my 9 to 5 behind me. And if my manager is watching, I love my job, but I still would love to do YouTube full-time. So yeah, if you want to help me, make sure you share this video, leave a comment, engage with me, and without further ado, let's dive into this video. As of July 2022, the hashtag Shein has over 32.8 billion views on TikTok alone. TikTok is literally full of Shein videos, and you can find anything. You can find videos from unboxing hauls to try-on hauls, from people complaining how Shein is stealing their designs and then selling them for cheap on their website, as well as people complaining about the quality of their clothing, which, makes sense. If you buy a dress for £3 or $3, what's the type of quality you actually expect? But regardless of that, the big question here is, who is Shein and where did they come from? And to be honest, their background is just as mysterious as the business practices. But here are the things that we do know about Shein. But first, a little disclaimer, this is a Chinese company, so there will be names and places that I am going to mispronounce, so I really apologize for that. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, I just genuinely don't know how to say it correctly. Sorry, let's get into it. So Shein was founded in 2008 in Nanjing, China by Chris Chu. And Chris started Shein first as a dropshipping business. And dropshipping basically just means that you sell whatever you can find in wholesale for a more profitable price. However, the business was actually so successful that in 2008, only 6 years after its first inceptions, Shein bought another really big Chinese retailer called Romway. And I don't know if you ever seen them, but they do circulate quite a lot on the internet as well. And I just never knew they were actually connected to Shein. But anyway, when they bought Shein in 2014, this is when they actually started manufacturing their own clothes and their own designs. And from there, they made a name for themselves quite quickly. And the difference between Shein and other fast fashion retailers like Zara or H&M is that Shein lives completely online. So there's no physical store that you can go to and check out. So it's a bit easier for them to make more profit as they have less outgoings. And today in 2022, so about 12 years after its first inception, Shein claims on their website that they employ more than 10,000 people in over 150 countries. And as I mentioned before, there isn't actually so much information about Shein out there. Also not about their finances, how much money they're actually making, how much money are they worth. But it is estimated that they are worth about 100 billion US dollars, which makes them officially the largest retailer in the world. So how did Shein do it? How did they literally become the world's largest fashion brand worth 100 billion US dollars in 12 years? Well, they market themselves as a fashion company where you can get amazing on-trend clothes that won't break the bank. And that's why, together with the power of social media, they became quickly a teen favorite. And not just that, the way they produce their clothing is insane. So while it takes a shop like Zara or H&M about 2 weeks from first design to production to actually uploading the stuff to their website, it takes Shein only about 3 days. So 3 days from idea to production to selling. 3 days. That's absolutely insane. 3 days, that means production is going also non-stop, right? So it's also estimated that Shein uploads between 2,000 and 6,000 styles every single day to their website. I mean, you make the math. Even if it's just 2,000, how much is that? In a week, that's 14,000 items of clothes. If they're uploading 6,000 a day per week, that's 35,000. And these are the styles, right? These are not the number of clothes actually produced, because then you have different sizes, different color options, and so on. So that's an insane, huge amount of clothing, which, wow, how is that even possible? I don't know, my mind can't comprehend that. But if you really upload between 2,000 and 6,000 pieces every single day, where are these ideas coming from? How many people do you have sitting in a creative room coming up with all of these styles and designs? And well, luckily for Shein, there's a lot of creative people in the world, because Shein has been constantly accused of stealing other artists' designs. Well, over the years, designers have been able to prove that Shein stole their work. The hashtag Shein stole my design has over 9.1 million views on TikTok. One of these artists is Tina Menzel, and her art was stolen by Shein on 6 different occasions in less than a year. And each time they were approached for copyright claims, they would react by trying to pay off the artists or just simply taking down the design. And let's not forget the time when Shein sold Muslim praying mats as Greek decoration carpets for your home. And although they were called out and apologized and took out the carpets, took down the carpets from their website, only less than 2 weeks later, they sold a swastika necklace on their website. And not just that, I dare you, go on TikTok and look up the hashtag Shein cultural appropriation. you will find thousands of examples where Shein has literally crossed the lines. Like they're literally tone deaf to what they've been doing, and they keep getting away with it. But I'm going to show you also some examples in this video.
I came across this on Shein and I was honestly shocked. Cheapening African style fashion.
Hi bestie, I had to stitch this because I totally agree with you, and I want to address your comment section because clearly a lot of people do not understand what the problem is. So as a designer and someone who has an African fashion clothing line, this is completely disgusting, and I'm not surprised because Shein has the reputation of stealing from independent designers and small businesses. In essence, the African fashion industry is completely underrated and underrepresented. Due to this, Shein is taking advantage and profiting off African culture, which isn't a surprise. They've also taken it a step further and they've completely washed and erased the African heritage from their listing titles, as you can see. The problem isn't the price, because there's so many designers who are affordable, okay? You just have to do your research. And to be honest, you can't be mad because these aren't even African fabrics, these are replicas. And I'll talk more about African fabrics and the history in part 2.
You're lying. You're lying. No. She's not lying. First of all, I'd really be living under a rock. What the fuck? Shein really did that. Okay. Who allowed this? Like, what in the capitalism is that? Profiting off of prayer mats and making them trendy? Is this what we've come to? Like, what? What the fuck?
It is common knowledge that fast fashion is not made to last, and this is especially true for Shein. Shein doesn't really care about the quality of the items because they care more about following the trend. Now the problem with that, especially in today's society in the time of the internet, is that trends last only about 3 months. That means the clothes of Shein don't have to last longer than that. But how can you produce trends for cheap prices and still make a profit? Well, you have to use synthetic fabrics, and synthetic fabrics are, for example, nylon and polyester. Now the problem with nylon and polyester is that they don't decay, and even worse than that, some of the items that Shein is trying to sell to you are so cheap quality that they land in the bin before you've even worn them, because they're too cheap to send them back. It's just not worth the hassle. In other words, every piece of clothing we buy from Shein will likely spend much more time in a landfill than they will ever spend in our wardrobes. And on top of that, as mentioned before, Shein drops anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 items per day onto the website. This, combined with the ultra low prices, allows people to buy more and buy also more frequently, worsening the issue of a global rise in textile waste. And if you did not know already, textile dyeing is the second largest source of river pollution. Having been called out on this many times, Shein claims that they use environmentally friendly production methods with sustainably sourced materials, and even going as far as to claim that they try their best to source recycled materials only. But none of that seems to be true. So Shein is claiming that they strictly obey by child labor laws in each of the individual countries that they're producing their stuff in, but it's quite difficult to prove, or impossible to prove, because they don't reveal their supply chain. Now it's important to note here that different countries have different rules and different laws. And in Bangladesh, where most of the fashion brands are located, the legal age of employment is only 14. Shein also claims that it provides its employees with livable wages above average in the industry, as well as health benefits and investment plans. And they also claim that all of the vendors have to do the exact same. And although they claim all of that and say that, they don't actually provide any figures. So we don't know how much they're actually paying these employees. Now, the reason why this is so suspicious, combined with their cheap prices and the number of items they're dropping on their website on a daily basis, is that if Shein was really so proud of this information and the way they're treating their employees, why are they not being more transparent with, one, their supply chain, but also why are they not more forthcoming with that information? If this is the number one reason they're being so harshly criticized and investigated by the US and the UK, by the way, then why isn't this information like forefront, basically, if you know what I'm saying? And with the small amount of easily disputed and unclear information that Shein is putting out there, we will never be able to confirm if they're as great as they're claiming to be. Or are we? There are many allegations of Shein's labor practices suggesting the brand is likely to be contracting with manufacturers that may be grossly exploiting, overworking, and underpaying their garment workers. A report from the NGO Public Eye revealed Shein's workers putting in as many as 75 hours a week, receiving only 1 day off per month, and being paid per item of clothing. And if this sounds wrong to you, this is because it is all in violation of labor laws. Instead of traditional large factories, Shein operates through contracting thousands of small family-owned workshops in China's urban villages in Guangzhou. A lot of Shein suppliers are maybe the size of a big bedroom, and all they have is a couple of sewing machines and 1 or 2 workers. The take-home pay for a garment worker relies upon their speed of production. The more pieces they sew, the more money they make. This also works the other way around, which means in many cases workers are earning less than the legal minimum wage. And although this is very common practice, it is in violation of local labor laws. So while Shein isn't physically forcing its workers to work 75 hours a week, the system that they're using is. Now let's tackle the questions a la questions. Is Shein clothing toxic? Short answer, yes. Next question, can you wash out toxins from your clothes? Again, short answer, no, you cannot. And while Shein is denying the use of any toxins in their clothing, they have been proven to be blatant liars. So, another reason for this, outside of the way that they're creating the clothes, obviously, is that there's no product liability lawsuits in China, or almost none. So what this means is that any clothes sold by any contractor or like wholesale retail company through Shein will not be held accountable for any issues occurred after the clothing has been sold. So what that means basically in short is that if you buy clothes from Shein and you get sick, no one will be held accountable and you're like basically on your own. Marketplace conducted an investigation with the help of the University of Toronto, and the results are mind-blowing. They ordered 38 samples of clothing from 6 online-only retailers, including Shein, and they basically carried out chemical tests on all of the items to determine the presence of heavy metals or other toxic chemicals. Out of 38 samples, 20% of the items contained appreciable amounts of toxins, including the chemical phthalate. Phthalate specifically targets the hormones involved in the male reproductive system. In addition to that, the amount of lead found was over 20% higher than the benchmark set by the government. And I didn't really know about phthalate or lead before I started researching the toxins in Shein clothing. And lead is not to play with at all. So lead is a heavy metal that can attack your kidneys, it can attack your brain, it can also attack your reproductive system, and is especially dangerous for pregnant women and children because of their weakened immune system. Also, due to the high amount of leads found, it is believed that the use of it was intentional rather than some sort of unforeseen consequence of the production process. Now, one theory is that this is due to the use of textile dye pigments rather than using some safer but more expensive alternatives to dye clothing. And it also raises the concern of health and safety for the workers, because if you work in an environment with such high amounts of leads, you're bound to get sick. So after the study flagged the clothes from Shein as being toxic, Shein has pulled the concerned items from their website and also has refunded their customers. And they also keep saying, you know, just make sure you wash your clothes before you wear them. It should dilute the amount of heavy metals. But the question arises, is your health and safety really worth following a 3 months lasting trend? Now, I can't end this video without speaking about the recent conspiracy theories circulating on the internet after a TikTok video went viral. So the TikTok video went viral because the person in the video was claiming that some of the clothes that she ordered from Shein had little "help me" messages stitched or written on them. And although at the time it wasn't really confirmed that if this is true or not, the person in the video obviously claimed it was from Shein, and she was urging other people to check the tags on their Shein clothes. Now, I'm going to read you an example of one of the things that were raised. Tumble dry, do not dry clean due to the water saving technology, need your help washing with soft detergent at the first time to make the goods softer. But it's been argued that the use of the phrase "need your help" is just an awkwardly translated phrase. There were other ones where apparently the message was saying "help me" or SOS as well. But again, there's no proof. Shein also has come forward and fired back at the accusations with their receipts. They have posted their own video to TikTok arguing that the pictures of tags shared in the original viral video were actually from other companies. I will link an article in the description box so you can read about this a bit more if you are interested. Personally, I doubt that this is true. Now, don't get me wrong, I have absolutely no doubts in my mind that Shein is mistreating their workers or just hiding behind, you know, whatever their contractor is doing, just claiming it's not actually them. But I don't believe the SOS messages on the tags of their clothes.
After watching all the videos about Shein employees asking for help, I checked my clothes. What the actual F*** going on, guys?
Some finishing words from me. First of all, I'm not bashing anyone buying fast fashion. I buy fast fashion. I actually love H&M, and I also do shop on Boohoo, which I probably should stop doing as well, because Boohoo, not as bad as Shein, worse than H&M, either way still really, really bad. So this is not a video to like attack anyone or pretending like, you know, I'm this angel who doesn't do any wrong. So it's not about that, but I do think we should think about a bit more where the clothes that we are wearing are coming from, how they have been created, and is our health really worth the risk? Because I'm sure Shein is not the only one selling toxic clothes. So whenever you can, if you can afford, try to go the sustainable way, and please don't think just because something is expensive or sold by a brand that it has been made sustainable. So it will probably take a bit of research and take a while to, you know, knowing what you can or can't buy, Or if you still want to have cheaper variants, you can always go and shop secondhand as well. So yeah, these are just some thoughts that I want to give you on your way. I'm finishing off this video, but I hope you did enjoy it. Again, if this is the type of content you like, then please make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and start a conversation in the comments. Would love to know what you think about all of this. And with that being said, I see you in my next video.